Hey, I'm Lee, and this is Cass. And this is Cass Lee Productions. Okay, so this is the third part of my band story. Probably should have mentioned that you don't need to watch like these in order. You just won't understand some references to before I mention things. But then again, I kind of explained them already because I do. Lines are beautiful. So this so this is my third year of marching band. Now, there would have been one in between, as I explained before in my other video, except for the fact that I got rid of it because I thought I needed art credit. And it wasn't until halfway through the year that I realized band is an art. Because when I think of art, I think of drawing, and so I thought they meant a drawing class. The beautifulness of me. So I missed a year in between, but a lot managed to change within that year because we ended up having an indoor practice area, like those indoor fields. We managed to get one of those. So in the morning, we do exercises and stuff on the field from what we ran through the night, what we learned the day before. And then we would go to the field and learn the new set. Or on the first day, our cases was just exercises all morning and teaching the new kids how to march, then going to the field and leading sets. And then a little bit before, can't remember if it was before or after lunch, we would have our sectionals where we just practice the music and get better at doing that. That year was still fun, even though I had been out of it for years, so I kind of got like the same pains all over again. But I definitely still enjoyed the third year, was better than all the others, and at this point I was better at dealing with authority. Like one time someone told me I wasn't dressing, and I was dressing. As I shouted back, I remember saying, they went, "Look at him dress!" And I went, "I am dressing, just not very well." So I learned how to, I guess, make it more comedic and not just be like frustrated and angry with them and myself. Because half is I know myself very well and I know where my faults lie. So when someone else points out that I'm doing something badly and I already know, it just irritates me because I'm already trying really hard to fix it and they're not acknowledging the fact that I'm trying, but they can't know. Also, the reason why I had issues my second year because I'd be trying to keep on foot and I'd say I'm trying and the person would say trying isn't good enough because that whole entire technical thing, well, the truth of you either fail or you don't. It's like, well, I'm trying over and over again to hopefully succeed, so it should be worth something to you. Okay, yeah, you can tell I'm still bitter over this, but either way, this is the year I had to give my right my crown. And as I mentioned before, I had interacted a lot with the lower grades. There's this one kid I was thinking of giving it to within my trumpet section, and there was this one girl at one point, but I didn't know her name. I knew the second guy, but I thought I'd give my crown to him, though I didn't know much about him except for he liked trying for the high notes. I bet everyone from my school is gonna know who I'm talking about. I could be wrong. He would really try for the high notes, and this is probably the one that's going to do it for you, is that he actually broke his clavicle that year of marching band. He ended up not doing band because of the broken clavicle, though, for the few years, at least as far as I understand. I never asked deeply about that because I find that personally rude, asking people why they quitted band, because it's like, that's their business. I don't need to know. I just need to know they didn't think it was for them anymore, or that it was, it's just like they just not there. I mean, I guess you can also take it as not really caring, but I just don't like to pry, and it's like, I don't know how to say this without offending like 500 people. But everyone ends up quitting band for their own reasons, whether they're not tried out for it, whether it's personal reasons or physical. You know, like, am I allowed? I don't think my sister would mind. Like, my sister had asthma and it was just too hard for her to march, so she didn't march. Simple as that, you know, stuff like that. I mean, asthma isn't like, okay, it's probably really annoying to have asthma and frustrating, but it's not something people, at least as far as I know, generally judge you for, though I could be super wrong. But my sister doesn't have severe asthma. It's just like she runs and then she can't breathe, which is a bit terrifying. It makes me sad because I can't race my sister, and I used to love racing my sister, so I don't know how much faster I've gotten. But, right, what was I talking about? All right, I was still talking about band and giving away my crown to someone. Okay, right, that's where we were. This got so off topic. Um, but I did debate actually giving my crown to him because I kind of knew him and we exchanged a few words every once in a while. There's also this one other kid that I had been in a play with. Honestly, I forgot his actual name because I'm bad with names, but I remember him by the part of the person who played in the play. Jeez, that's a bit of a tongue twister, and it was funny because he had to play. His character played the trumpet in that thing, and he played the trumpet, so that was technically it was the horn, but we're going to say same difference in this case. Yes. So I just called him Skippy. He doesn't know I call him Skippy. Now he knows I call him Skippy. He probably will remember this and be like, you don't remember my name. He was very nice. Me and him share conversations. He even rode my bus, which makes it even worse for me not remember his name, but I've never been good with names, so unless you talk to me and whenever you're way to talk to me, like every day, or at least say hi to me and put my name next to the hi, then I'd bother to remember your name because then I felt bad for not knowing yours and only being able to say hi back. So, yeah. But again, not knowing his name kind of was like, it's kind of awkward to give it to someone whose name you don't know. And I figured if I didn't find out his name by the end of the week, that I probably shouldn't give it to him so it wasn't awkward for both of us. So just so you know, you guys were my runner ups. I do remember the other kid's name with the broken clavicle. I'm just not saying it for the sake of the video. And I knew it because whenever there was a high note that was suspiciously out of tune, all of us would just shout out his name and automatically blame him. He really liked playing high notes. I can't blame him. They are fun when you can hit them. I could never hit them. I hate high notes. Personal thing. That's why I always played the low parts. I like the sounds of the lower notes. Maybe I really should have been a trombone. But yeah, so I still kind of remember my speech. I'm sorry, person I gave it to you. You know who you are. And I ended up giving it to my friend's younger brother because I had a few classes with him and I knew him through my friend. And he's a pretty cool and awesome person. And he's on task when he needs to be, but he's also fun. And I also said that in my speech. But I kind of had like a rough outline of what I was going to say. And then I went through the rough outline and kind of pieced it all together exactly what I say within the few minutes I was standing in line to say the speech. And I think I admitted that out loud during the speech. I said, like most people apparently, they didn't know who they're going to give their crown to. And honestly, I didn't know who to give it to because I am an introvert. I do not talk to other people. And then all the parents chuckled. I thought the kids would laugh, but they didn't. So that made me sad. I can't remember if I said introvert or if I was like socially inept. Which again may be hard to leave. I don't start conversations. You have to talk to me first, another conversation for later. Continuing on with the speech, I was like, I know this person. So I know this person through a friend. Yeah, I know this person through a friend. And, I've had a few classes with him, and he's always on point. I've really enjoyed him, and even though he can be serious, he knows when to have fun, and that's why my crown goes to S's brother. I'm going to call the person SS because I realize that I have two friends who have S in their name, so that can be confusing. S is the DM of The Lord of the Rings, and SS was the person who was the bird in that other story. And I realized if you haven't watched those, you don't know what those are. But you can now go back and watch those so you can figure out who I'm semi talking about. The glorious of synonyms. Not synonyms. I'm just gonna call them pen names. I forgot the actual word. Don't judge me. You can totally judge, but just keep it to yourself if it isn't nice. This is like a universal law that everyone should know by now and sort of follow, unless it's like critical for my growth as a person. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, that ended up being my end of the year speech. I was a lot more social that year though than all the other years. Honestly, I didn't really get really social till around high school. Start talking to people. No, I talk to people a lot more now that I'm in college. So I'm finally talking to people. Woo! People get to know me. Yeah. So that's that. That's all my band stuff. So subscribe. Subscribe. The buttons are down here somewhere. Maybe, unless I'm being weird and it's up there or over there just to mess with you or me, technically. I'm just putting in everything to cover my bases. All right. I'm here to make you laugh, so I hope you did. Nailed it.